Oke, selamat datang teman-teman di podcast Burasa, Bincang Urusan Studi Amerika Serikat. Saya Fadil Adiyat, host untuk, acara hari ini. Saya Education US Advisor dan hari ini kita kedatangan tamu spesial dari Amerika Serikat. So today we have, our special guest from Missouri State University, Patrick Parnell. Today we're gonna talk about studying in the US, but more specific to Midwest. So, Patrick, welcome to Makassar. Welcome to Indonesia. So happy to have you here. And yeah, just a quick introduction for yourself, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for inviting me and for welcoming me to the American Corner here in Makassar. Yes, my name is Patrick Parnell, and I am the Director of International Services at Missouri State University in Springfield, Missouri.
All right. Now, let's talk about higher education in general first. So, what or why do you think like studying abroad is very essential or important for students?
Well, education abroad and student mobility in general is certainly a passion of mine. And while I represent the United States and specifically Missouri State University, I feel it's important for students to have an opportunity to study abroad wherever they choose to go. And the reason being is that for both personal and professional development, education abroad is a huge resource to be able to step out of your comfort zone, to immerse yourself in another culture, and to really flourish in that sense is extremely, extremely important to your development in so many ways.
Okay, and yeah, let's talk about Midwest.
Okay.
When we say Midwest, what states or area we actually talking about?
Well, the Midwest, and also to be included and also compared to the upper Midwest, is really the middle and upper section of the United States, with my state of Missouri really being at the most southern border of that region, going all the way up to the border with Canada, so Wisconsin, Michigan, and even North Dakota,
Right.
and all the states in between.
Okay.
And
so
this-
somewhere here. like, in
Right,
this
and the area is often referred to as the flyover states.
flyover state. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, and then what makes the Midwest a special or unique destination for international students? Then,
Well, first and foremost, I would say safety and well-being. The Midwest is a very safe and healthy environment to study, especially for international students. And I would also say affordability is key. The cost of living in this part of the United States is a lot lower than, say, in some of the coastal cities and other big cosmopolitan areas.
right?
And this is also very important for international students coming to the US. And finally, is in addition to safety, the welcoming environment. Many communities in this part of the United States are not only easier to access, I would say, but extremely welcoming, and are very excited to open their hearts really to people from around the world.
Wow, cool. Yeah, that's interesting when it comes to the affordability because I went to some other places in the US, and then finding that housing is very different. And I mean, some areas in the in Midwest, you can still find like $900 to $12,000 a month, like for renting a room, and then in the other places could be like 2,000, like something like that for.
Right. And so when it comes to the cost of attendance at a university, that varies across the board. Of course, there are more expensive schools, either public or private, in this region. But again, it comes back to that cost of living piece, is that your cost of housing, and other, your lodging, the food you buy, the activities you participate in, generally the cost is lower than other parts of the US.
But does that mean also like you still can, have some activities in Midwest? Like, do they still offer attractions or tourist things?
Yes, the Midwest is very fun and very exciting. We do have a good time. I would first say that there are many wonderful natural components to this part of the US, many ways to get out for outdoor recreation, whether it's on bodies of water or hiking or other types of activities that really involve the natural environment. That's very much a part of Midwestern culture. But also, just like anywhere else in the US, there are many great things to do, and
Right.
each state has its own culture and its own things, special activities and special attractions.
Right. Okay. Also, we have a lot of questions from students like regarding like feeling like the sense of being welcome to the community when they study in the U.S. So the question is like how welcoming people there to international students.
Well, very welcoming. As I've already mentioned, the Midwest is known for its welcoming communities,
Right.
especially for international students. There are lots of opportunities when it comes to international students getting to integrate into the culture of the various states within the U.S. because people really want to know about where people are coming from and learn about them. And I think that's a misconception that we are very closed-minded in the Midwest, that we're not interested in culture, that we're afraid of foreign people. And that is absolutely not the truth, that we're a very open-minded bunch of people that really just care
Right.
about individuals and not necessarily about who they are or where they come from.
Okay. And also, like, I feel when I was there, I also find that there are, I mean, the institution or the university also help us to connect with the community by like managing events, like cultural events, so we are able to promote our culture. I mean,
Absolutely. Many institutions, and of course Missouri State, offer opportunities for our international students to share their cultures with the community at large. These can be cultural fairs, they can be special workshops, they can be presentations to schools.
Okay.
But always, I encourage international students, no matter where they go to school in the U.S., that they find a way to be able to share their own culture with the community that they've decided to join. And even more, so many institutions, and again, like Missouri State and our International Friends program, have dedicated programs to connecting international students with locals.
Okay. And then that's pretty much answer like the question about how welcoming the people are, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, there is a general desire and openness and understanding to learn from others from around the world.
Okay. So you also have like a lot of international students right now, or I mean, uh, like the Missouri State still welcoming international students until now.
Absolutely. We are certainly open for business when it comes to international enrollment. We currently have about 1,000 international students on our campus, which makes up about 5% of the total student population. And these students come from over 95 countries, so a very diverse population.
And then we would like to know as well, like how supportive for international students. I mean, how supportive the institution for the international students, especially like some people from different cultures somehow like having like dietary restriction, religious practice, stuff like that. Like how Missouri State really support all of those things.
I would certainly say that we are very supportive in many factors of the international student enrollment experience. When it comes to cultural components and health needs, you mentioned the dietary piece. Our dining centers certainly accommodate many different food cultures and dietary restrictions that would come with our international students. In terms of religion and religious diversity, we're a very open institution and very willing to accommodate as needed. Okay. And many other components of, again, the cultural perspective that an international student would bring, we support that.
Okay. And also like for like student organizations, like all of the students like who have like different hobbies and different interests, they do have like some resources to find when they got to MSU.
Absolutely. We are proud of the fact that we have over 375 student organizations at Missouri State. And many of those are cultural organizations. And while I encourage international students not to come to the US just to spend time with other international students or students from their home countries, I am very proud of the fact that we have many organizations on campus that do represent different populations of our international student enrollment, because it provides a great deal of education and exposure for the campus community at large.
All right. Would you like to mention like or share an experience or any kind of example how students are really engaged one another, or what's really like about being international students there?
I'll provide you with two examples. So first, just in terms of the opportunity for international students to come together on our campus and really represent their cultures and the different perspectives from the parts of the world they come from. We host a wonderful activity every fall, coming up actually at the end of this month, called Tour of the Globe. And all of our international students are encouraged to participate in it. And it's basically like an international bazaar where you have different rooms in a location that are set up for each country. It's open to the community at large. It's free of charge. Our division, which is the Division of Global Education and Engagement, supports this process by providing funding so the students can, buy food to serve and share art and music and other aspects of their culture. So it's a really, really fantastic event.
Right.
And then the other one I wanted to share is more of the concept of kind of an integrative, very local cultural experience. As many people know, American football is very popular, especially in the Midwest. And a component of that American football experience is something that we call the tailgate. Which is the big party that happens on most college campuses before a home football game. And at Missouri State, it's very special because we take the opportunity to set up what we basically an international tent where we host not only international students, but we host, again, the campus at large so people can learn from each other, international students learning about the traditions of homecoming and having a good party, and then our local students being able to learn from international students as well.
All right. That's pretty good point there, because I also experienced that when I was there. So, yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's very American. It's very American culture.
Yeah, very American.
It's very American culture. Anyway, as education US advisor, I do have like experience with students that are really, looking for a brand or like, when it comes to choosing study destination, they are really, really kind of still think about like coastal area or some like bigger city, or probably some big brands that probably they are really known for. However, let's say that that misconception should change. So why do you think there's a misconception about this, and then why do you think that people should go to study in Midwest?
Well, again, from the perspective around the globe, I'm fully aware that many prospective students probably don't even know where Missouri is. And just like I don't know where a lot of places around the world are. And so there is, a lot of our top institute. The U.S. is known for higher education, and we are considered to be number one in the world, which means we have some of the top brands. And I don't need to name them all, but I'm sure Harvard and Yale come to mind. And these are iconic. And of course, students are going to think, well, I'm going to go to the U.S. to study the best thing I can. But I encourage all students, as I'm sure you do as part of your Education USA experience, is you really need to prioritize why are you studying abroad, and then what are the barriers to your experience, and how are you going to overcome them? Not every student is going to be able to get into our top tier schools or our most highly ranked schools. There are so many accessible, affordable, and very high quality opportunities in higher education in the US that need to be explored. And that is especially true in the Midwest. Yes, maybe our states and cities aren't as well known, but our universities and our colleges offer great opportunities to host international students. So it's really about doing that research, stepping outside of your box, getting away from the name brands and considering some other options. And a big piece of that priority is you are looking at higher education for a career and for an educational program. So do some research in terms of who has the best program that you're interested in, because it's not always going to be the best brand name university out there.
Right. Yeah, and I realized also that the misconception came from like people think that if they go to the big brand campus, they gonna easily to have a job after that, which I found that not necessarily true. Because you know, like opportunity is always out there.
Right.
You just have to be like the best of your best, and that's the thing. Like I want to really ask you about like, do you think that it could be an option like studying in the Midwest, but still able to pursuing a career like in the big city, like somewhere in New York or California?
Well, first and foremost, those international students who are able to get accepted to, say, one of the top tier name brand institutions in our country are going to wind up spending their career paying off their tuition debt. But to answer your question directly, yes, many, I would say all of our institutions, accredited institutions in the United States, offer something of value, and that will come through in the degree that you earn and will be recognized. A U.S. degree is, there's a reason why it's sought after around the world. It reflects value, it reflects a career path, and it will really come through no matter where you go, in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. as well. I'm a strong believer in that.
Right. So basically, like we are trying to say that you can invest less of your money in Midwest, but still have the opportunity to get better job or better opportunities around the world.
Absolutely, and I also want to emphasize that value is not only in the degree, but it's in the connections that you make. It's in the networks that you develop no matter where you go that are going to help you to propel your career beyond just what your diploma says on it. And then I would also say many international students are coming to the U.S. to look, maybe not just at an undergraduate degree, but the trajectory of possibly a full postdoctoral PhD opportunity. Don't forget, there are many opportunities to start small, start inexpensive, use the resources available at a very good school, maybe at a lesser cost, and then use that as a starting point or a jumping off point to pursuing an even higher degree in the U.S.
Right. All right. We are going to the last question, I guess. So, what advice would you give to Indonesian students or international students in general who are considering applying to universities in the Midwest?
As I've already mentioned, prioritize, do your research very extensively to see what's out there, know what you're looking for before you make a decision or you think that you've made a decision. Communicate with Indonesians or other international students who are already studying in the U.S. That's a great opportunity to learn firsthand about their experience. And also, once you think you have your institution of choice, communicate with them and utilize them before you even get there as a resource. Connect with faculty in the academic departments that you're interested in pursuing your degree in. This will really help to not only confirm your decision, but to create a better experience for you right from the beginning.
Right.
And once you're admitted and you're ready to go and you depart for the U.S., just make sure and pack all of your favorite food from Indonesia and bring it with you, especially sambal.
Especially sambal and the crackers. Okay. Anyway, that's very much of our episode for today. Thank you very much, Patrick, for coming to Makassar. It's been a pleasure to host you here. We are so excited to showing around like house people in Makassar, and then thank you again.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oke, teman-teman, terima kasih banyak sudah menonton episode kali ini. Sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya.